I asked her why. She said because she didn't want to be responsible for breaking up a happy home.
Welcome back to Story in 5 Pages. If you're new here, this segment is called Ask Story in 5. It's where we, certified life coaches, offer potential solutions to some of life's everyday problems. Today's dilemma is called Blackmailed by My Professor.
Let me start off by saying thank you for providing this forum to ask questions and get answers free from judgment. My situation won't take long to tell you. It's this. My sister and I attend the same college. She is 1 year ahead of me. Recently, I found out my sister broke it off with my history professor, whom she had been dating for over a year. I asked her why. She said because he was a liar who was never going to leave his wife.
Oh, okay. Wow. Yeah, they never do.
Also, she just found out he has 2 children as well. She said she didn't want to be responsible for breaking up a happy home.
I don't like the phrase breaking up a happy home. An outsider can never break up the home. It's the responsibility of the married partners to keep the doors locked and keep the home safe from unlawful entry, so to speak. By unlawful, that means anyone not in the marital union.
I was relieved that she broke it off. Now, I have a huge problem. My professor knows about me. He came over to our apartment one day in the previous semester, and my sister introduced him as her boyfriend. It wasn't until now that I even knew he worked as a history professor for the university. He begged me not to be weirded out and assured me I didn't have to drop his class. It has been fine for the most part until recently that my sister broke it off with him. He announced as the class was leaving one day that he wanted to speak to me in his office.
For what?
When I got there, he told me if I didn't convince my sister to call the relationship back on, he was going to fail me on every assignment and ultimately report me to the dean for cheating, to have me get kicked out of school.
I'm thinking we can see why she might have broke it off with him.
I don't know what to do.
Tell somebody.
I don't want to report him because the university forbids students and teachers from fraternizing, even if the student doesn't have that professor for a class. If I rat him out, I have to squill on her too. This is presenting a big dilemma for me. How do I pass the class and not convince her to take up with the professor again?
Okay. So this is where you're going to have to learn 2 things. First, you need a paper trail for everything. When you can discuss matters over text or email or record conversations, do it. Because you never know how events will play out over time, and covering your butt is essential. Recording can be tricky though, because some states are one-party consent states, but in other states, you have to have consent for both parties. And you really don't want to bring yourself unnecessary trouble. So if you go the recording route, double check the laws in your state. You could always lie and say you recorded him and told someone about it. But I really do think you should tell someone about the situation just for good measure. Secondly, when faced with a challenge or a situation such as this one, you have to play the professor's game, but you have to be better at it than he is. You can play it one of 2 ways. You can talk it over with your sister and let her know the situation and see if she minds if you tell the administration. I think in the grand scheme of things, the professor is the one who will get in trouble and not your sister. Alerting the administration to this will be the best option, in my opinion, because there are a multitude of serious implications surrounding the professor's behavior. However, I can understand your hesitancy out of concern for your sister and both of y'all's education. Another option, and I think since you're hesitant to involve your sister, is to fake him out or call his bluff. The same way that he's saying you have to drop his class or he'll tell on you, tell him, you'll tell on him. You can either actually record him speaking to you, or you can just tell him you recorded him, even if you haven't. It would be better if you could get the correspondence between you and him in writing, but I'm sure he won't fall for that. Maybe. Do you have these conversations with him in his office, or how? Through which medium do these threats occur? If you're in his office, perhaps you could arrange for someone to call you and you could say, yeah, I'm with Professor so-and-so. I'll call you back as soon as I leave. Or maybe you could record yourself speaking to him and just don't be obvious, but try to get him to casually engage in the conversation. You could say something like, please don't fail me. I can't get her to agree to go back out with you. Once you record him, tell him you've already told someone else about the situation and have given them a copy of the recording, but don't tell him who you told. That's rule number 1. Watching Lifetime movies or other true crime shows, I always think y'all need to stop telling people what you're going to do and just do it. With that being said, people are crazy. You never know what someone would do when their marriage or livelihood is threatened. So if he knows you're not alone in this and someone else knows, he might be less likely to resort to violence. Go Missy on them. Flip it in reverse. I'm not supposed to say that. Tell him that if you finish out the semester with an acceptable grade, because he might just try to give you a failing grade anyway, saying that's what you earned. But tell him if you pass the class with an acceptable grade, then it's cool. Nobody has to know. But if you don't pass the class, then everyone will know. You don't have to really intend on doing this. You're just trying to even the playing field, because while he's blackmailing you, he also has something to be blackmailed with. That's usually how it works. You go to blackmail or you go threatening to expose secrets, you have a secret that can be exposed. Now, after you pass the class, I don't know exactly how y'all want to do it, but maybe you can drop some anonymous tips with the office, with the administration, or whatever they're called in college, that he fraternizes with his students, because your sister is probably not the only one he's attached himself to. And you don't know how many other students he might be blackmailing or withholding grades or trying to coerce to do something under the guise of promising that they won't pass his class if they don't do what he wants them to do. He needs to be exposed, but it doesn't have to be with your sister's face attached to it. This one was kind of hard, y'all. You know, you never want to give advice or offer suggestions for things that could backfire. But I'm interested to hear how some of you might navigate this situation. Would you tell and just your sister would have to deal with it? Would you try to fake him out? Can y'all talk to y'all parents? I don't know if your sister would like that either, but add your advice in the comments. What do you think the person who sent us this story should do? If you enjoyed this video, be sure to check out our channel. We have plenty more like this, and we have an inbox full of stories waiting to record. And if you have a story you want to share, or if you need advice, then go ahead and send yours in, add to the list. We appreciate you, and remember to like, share, and subscribe. Catch you in the next one. Okay, thanks. Bye.